He was packing his guitar when the owner said, "Exposure's your payment." The words cut sharper than the buzz of the old amp. The air reeked of beer and sweat, that blend of cheap joy and cheaper regret. He kept rolling the cable, slow and tight, like maybe the next loop would hold him together. The owner leaned on the bar, counting bills. "Good crowd tonight, huh? You should thank me for that." He didn't even look up, just flipped the cash like cards only he could play. The musician nodded once. He knew that look, the one that said, "You're lucky we let you on stage." The crowd had been loud, alive. They'd even chanted his name once. But now the lights were too bright, showing stains on the carpet and faces already forgetting him. He slid the guitar into its case. The zipper caught for a second. He forced it shut anyway. His throat felt dry. "You said 200, he managed. The owner smirked. "Yeah, well, consider this a favor. You got exposure, man. People heard you." He could have said 100 things about rent, about gas money, about how exposure doesn't pay for strings. But he just stood there, the hum of the neon sign filling the silence where pride should have been. Someone from the staff laughed near the jukebox. It sounded like it was at his expense. He picked up the case and walked toward the door. Each step felt too heavy for the cheap floorboards. The exit light flickered, once, twice, before he pushed through. Outside, the cold slapped him awake. Cars rolled by on the main street, music bleeding faintly from their windows. He looked back once through the smoky glass. The owner was still counting, head bent, lips moving with the rhythm of his own voice. He took a breath that scraped his chest. "Yeah," he muttered. "Exposure." Then he walked out, slow, steady, like leaving something behind that wouldn't follow. He woke up to silence, that hollow kind after a late gig. Too much ringing in the ears, not enough left inside. The guitar case stood half open against the wall, like even it was done with him. A wrinkled set list lay on the floor. His phone buzzed once, rent reminder. Then again, a text from his friend Marcus. "Forget it, man. Everyone gets burned once." He stared at the message until the screen dimmed, then tossed the phone face down. At his day job, the office lights hummed the same pitch as the bar's amp. He stocked shelves in silence, moving slow, careful, as if rhythm could make the day end faster. The manager yelled something about boxes. He nodded, didn't listen. All he could hear was that voice from 2 nights ago. "Exposure's your payment." That line stuck to his brain like gum under a shoe. By evening, he was home again, sitting by the cheap desk he called a studio. The laptop fan wheezed, the mic blinked red. He played back the live set from his phone, the crowd cheering, then fading into bar noise. He skipped to the end. The recording caught it, the owner's laugh, distant but sharp, cutting through the chatter. "You should thank me for the crowd, man," the voice said. He froze. The sound was ugly, real, perfect. He replayed it. Then again. Each time, it hit the same. Marcus called. He let it ring. He sat still for a moment, staring at the wall. The night felt heavy, but not empty anymore. Then he reached forward. The window rattled slightly from traffic outside. It sounded like a snare hit out of place. He opened a new project, named it Exposure Pay. The cursor blinked, steady, expectant. The screen glared white, like a stage light waiting for the first note. He dragged the clip in, trimmed the silence, looped the words, "Exposure's your payment. Exposure's your payment." The phrase started to sound like a hook, not an insult. He sat back. For the first time since the show, he smiled. Barely, but enough. The file saved with a soft click. Somewhere downstairs, someone knocked over a trash bin. He didn't move. The sound just folded into the rhythm in his head. The waveform pulsed blue on his screen, jagged and uneven like a heartbeat that hadn't decided whether to stop or fight. He turned the volume up just enough to hear the words clearly. "Exposure's your payment." Then again, "Exposure's your payment." He started building around it. Kick, snare, bass. Nothing fancy. just pulse. The beat landed under the words like a punch muffled through fabric. He leaned closer, eyes fixed on the pattern as if the rhythm could explain what the night had taken from him. Hours passed. The air in the apartment grew stale, the cheap lamp humming in sync with the loop. He didn't notice. Each drag of the mouse, each adjustment, felt like carving something out of the noise. A kind of control he hadn't had at that bar. At one point he stopped, listened again. The voice was still there, smug, slurred, human. But now it was trapped inside his track, stripped of power. It wasn't a man anymore. It was sound. He leaned back, cracked his knuckles. For a second, he thought about deleting everything. Maybe it was small. Maybe he was. His hand froze above the keyboard. Then that same laugh, short, smug, perfect. He hit record. He started adding layers. A low bass line that rumbled like an idling truck outside. A short vocal echo that bounced back the insult until it became rhythm. The voice no longer sounded cruel. It sounded stupid, hollow, almost catchy. He laughed once, quiet, short, and kept working. The clock on his phone read 3:42 a.m. when he leaned back, exhausted. The track ran on loop, filling the room with the same phrase that once humiliated him. Now it moved differently, proud, alive, loud. He saved it, exported, named it again, exposure pay final. Wave. Outside, a siren passed. He didn't flinch. His hand trembled once on the mouse, just enough to make the pointer shake. He exhaled slow. He hit upload to his small SoundCloud. He watched the progress bar crawl across the screen, slow, steady. By noon the next day, the track already had a few hundred plays. He thought it was a glitch. Then someone tagged him in a story. A girl in a college hoodie, lip-syncing the line with fake arrogance. Exposure's your payment. She laughed, tossed a beer bottle at the camera, beat dropped, video cut. He watched it twice, then a third time. By evening, the phrase was everywhere. TikTok loops, Instagram reels, remixed duets. Some guy added a dance to it, a sarcastic bow at the end. The words he'd hated now echoed across thousands of clips, each one louder, meaner, funnier. He scrolled through comments. Bro just made the anthem for every broke artist. Some bar owners sweating right now. This hits too close. He tried to stay detached, but the notifications kept coming. Reposts, shoutouts, DMs. His phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Then came a message from Marcus. Dude, the local station just played your track. He laughed out loud. It sounded strange, like a noise he hadn't made in months. He turned on the radio app. Static. Then his beat. That loop. And right after it, the DJ's voice. This next one's blowing up out of nowhere. A little something called exposure pay. The DJ chuckled. Apparently that voice belongs to a real bar owner downtown. He froze mid-breath. When the song ended, the silence that followed felt like weight. Not peace, not guilt. Just gravity. He opened his laptop, checked SoundCloud. The comments were flooding in. Someone had posted the bar's name, then the address. Then Yelp reviews started quoting his lyrics. Exposure's your payment, 1 star. He sat still, screen light flickering over his face. He hadn't planned for this. He hadn't even thought past upload. The cursor blinked on the comments section, endless and alive. His chest felt tight. Not guilt, not pride, just pressure. His phone lit up, unknown number. He watched it die out, then another came. He didn't answer. He just turned the volume up. The beat hit harder now, the laugh buried under it like a secret no one could unhear. He didn't play it again for days. The noise was everywhere. Texts, calls, interviews, merch. They called him the voice of every broke artist. He tuned it all out. What had started as anger was now just static. He needed silence. That Friday, a new venue booked him for an open set. A small place across town, neon blue lights, cleaner stage, friendlier staff. He almost said no, then packed his gear anyway. When he walked in, a few people recognized him, not from his face, but from the song. Someone shouted, "Play Exposure Pay." The rest joined in, half joking, half demanding. He smiled a little, shook his head. He started with something else, a soft riff, steady rhythm, the kind that keeps people listening without knowing why. But then, between songs, someone from the back yelled the line again. "Exposure's your payment." The crowd laughed, clapped, started chanting it in time. He looked up. The chant built into rhythm, almost like the beat he'd made in his room. Without planning, his fingers moved. Loop pedal on, short sample ready. He hit play. The crowd erupted. The words that once cut through him now came back as power. Each "exposure's your payment" bounced off the walls, louder, playful, victorious. He didn't sing. He didn't need to. Someone filmed. Phones went up. For a second, he caught his reflection in a screen. Tired, calm, older somehow. He ended the loop clean, muted the pedal. The room fell silent, that kind of quiet that holds applause before it happens. Then the cheering started, raw, full, human. He didn't bow, just unplugged the cable. Same motion as that first night, only now his hands were steady. Outside, cool air met him like applause that didn't need sound. The street smelled of rain and fried food. His phone buzzed again, another unknown number. He let it ring. At home, he opened the project one last time. The waveform blinked, blue, jagged, alive. He turned the volume down to a whisper and sat there, listening to the silence he'd finally earned.